Good evening, and welcome back to 30 at 6 on Cecil TV. Here we are again at Dialogue with Leadership with Dr. Alan McCarthy. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
How are you?
I'm wonderful, as a matter of fact.
So last week you presented your 2020 budget. Give us some of the highlights.
The highlights are it's the third consecutive budget we've had that's been balanced without the use of unassigned fund balance, which means that we pay as we go, and basically we're not borrowing any money from any other funds in order to make it work. Highlights of the budget are we basically increased funding for public schools about $2.4 million, which is roughly 3% over what they got last year, so they would be receiving approximately $85 million from the county. Last year they got roughly $82 million. We increased the budget for Cecil County libraries by 5.7% in order to basically give them enough money that they can move forward, hire new personnel for the new library that eventually put into Northeast. We've also given an increase of $361,000, which is a little over 3%, to Cecil Community College, and they're moving forward with that. Other than that, the major other things we did were we provided funding to basically keep a highly trained and skilled workforce, and basically we attended to their health needs by giving a 5.8% budget there.
And we've also got some new positions in the county.
Yes, we do. We basically added new positions for animal control. I think there's 2.5 positions there. I basically allocated resources to the state's attorney's office to get a new prosecuting attorney and a paralegal to assist with this ongoing opioid crisis, which has caused tremendous increases in crime throughout Cecil County. The other major things would basically be paramedics or EMS people for emergency services. We have a hard time keeping those people because our wage scale has not been competitive with other neighboring counties. Those are the highlights of the budget. There's probably some other things I can't think of off the top of my head, but if they show up and I think of them, I'll let you know. But those are the major issues. And
do you expect it to be smooth sailing?
Yes, I do. Yes, I expect to be smooth sailing. Now that you mention it, we have two enterprise funds too. Which one is wastewater enterprise fund, and that's doing well. We're closing the gap between what we owed and what we didn't. Well, we're closing the gap on what we've been borrowing, so that's good. And the other one, the solid waste fund, is basically in excellent condition. We've not had to basically do anything with it. It's in sound financial footing.
Okay.
So basically, I'm really excited about what's going on. I think that Cecil County is well prepared now and also going into the future. We grew the revenues by over $6.8 million this past year. And in terms of employment, many times people ask me, you've grown the government. No, we haven't. Basically, we have the same number of employees now that we had when I started.
So in thinking about the county's future, one thing that I know you're very concerned with is the county's water and sewage plan.
Yes,
And there's been some contention recently over conflicts between Rising Sun's proposed water service plan and the county's comprehensive plan.
That's correct.
Do you think any compromise can be reached between the town and the county?
At this particular time, I would have to say no. Right now, what Rising Sun wants to do is in total conflict with our comprehensive plan. Comprehensive plan has been in place since 1962, is updated in 74, 1990, and 2010. Their plan has to basically correspond and basically be included in our comprehensive plan, and theirs doesn't basically do that. What they would like to do is they basically want to take water distribution outside of the town limits, which is totally against what our comprehensive plan states. All the areas surrounding Rising Sun, other than the town itself, are basically RCD district, which is Rural Conservation District, and it's really not allowed to distribute water there. We have a defined growth corridor, which is basically along Route 40, essentially from Delaware to Perryville area. And it's not in that area up there. That area is basically for farming and agricultural purposes. So based on that, I can't do it. There is a possibility that I could basically deliver water outside of the town limits for health purposes.
Public health
But
reasons.
that doesn't exist out there, at least according to our environmental scientist at the health department.
Okay.
There's no need for that.
Do you think over time there's potential for
Yes,
compromise?
most certainly there is. These plans are basically redefined every 10 years. So basically at the next time that they do this, I mean, they can move forward with, special needs or basically an amendment to the current existing
Right.
plan to allow them to do that. But as we currently speak, they have 300 acres that they could infill, basically build in, and plus they can annex more properties into the existing town, provided the properties are contiguous with the town limits. So basically, they have lots of room to expand.
Right. So the county council votes on that tomorrow, April
Tomorrow
2nd.
night, yes, that'd be the master water and sewer plan.
Earlier, you touched on the opioid crisis as something that cost the county a lot of money, of course. But there have been positive developments in the progress of litigation against opiate manufacturers. Can you give us an update?
The most recent update I can give you is that it's been expanded to include many of the pharmaceutical companies which distribute the drugs, for example, CVS, Rite Aid. I'm not saying necessarily those companies,
Right.
but retail outlets basically been included into the litigation because they've been involved by not basically following rules and regulations concerning the distribution of drugs. So basically that's been expanded. Just recently, Oklahoma won a judgment for $270 million from Purdue Pharmaceuticals.
Right.
My biggest concern is a lot of these companies are going to go bankrupt because they just don't have the resources to pay these bills. And I think some of them are purposely being put into bankruptcy so they won't have to pay. So this is an ongoing thing. Hopefully this time next year we'll have a very good feel for where we stand in terms of litigation. The litigation will essentially be a very global litigation, very much like the tobacco settlement, where they'll basically allocate X number of dollars or millions of dollars over X number of years to be distributed between the counties, states, and other municipalities.
Okay. So
It's a big, big issue.
yeah.
And it's impacted lots and lots of people so far. We've already had 14 people overdose and die in Cecil County just this year.
Yeah. We talked about the budget. We talked about the water and sewer plans and the opioid crisis. Are there any other updates?
Yes, Smithfield Hams is basically
Right.
going to locate the new Smithfield Foods, not Hams. It's going to locate a new facility in Principio Industrial Park. I'm really excited about it.
240 jobs,
That's
I believe
correct,
I read.
yes.
Okay.
We have lots of very interesting things going on
Yeah.
and a lot more coming.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to having you back to talk about
Well,
it.
thank you. I like coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. Thank you.